Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar video. This is going to be my next Legacy of Yangchen chapter analysis video. So this one's going to be for chapter 9, Dead Giveaway. So pretty short chapter, obviously direct continuation of the previous one. So Kavik has just kind of randomly encountered Taegum, Akudan and Jujinta in the tea house nearby the kind of Northern Air Temple kind of village. And now we get the interaction here, the reaction of the rest of the crew to meeting Kavik for the first time since his betrayal. But as we'll see at the end of this chapter, the plot effectively activates right at the end of this, kind of throwing everything up in the air. So, basically we start off this chapter with Jujinta attacking Kavik with his knives. So the first one hits the door frame, but the second one is about to stab Kavik, but Kavik reacts really quickly. He uses a Unirax, 3 lessons. He uses his water bending to basically grab a wet cloth out of the hands of Akudan and ice it basically over the area where the knife is about to go in. And so the two of them kind of have this kind of wrestling match as like Jujinta's trying to plunge the knife in and Kavik is like trying to keep the ice armor up but also kind of wrestle Jujinta off. So Kavik's in a bit of a tough situation here. It's a really kind of clever move that kind of highlights that when skilled non-bender fighters get in close, it can be difficult for benders to kind of challenge them like that. So interesting stuff here with this small little action scene here. But anyway, Akudan comes over and eventually breaks this up. Of course, he's super strong, so he just lifts Jujinta off Kavik, and he points out he has to be here because the Avatar made a decision. So we can't eliminate him basically until we find out from her why he's here. So Kavik immediately tries to kind of turn on the charm. I see you're doing well here. Is this your new place of business? But of course, this is probably the wrong approach here. They're annoyed because the reason that they don't live in their home, Jandari, anymore is because of Kavik. And they're like, you can't just turn up here again and act like there's no problem. They're like, we lived there. Do you understand? And he absolutely does. Now, he does point out that, I never revealed your connection to the Avatar. I'm not responsible for, that specific side of things. Obviously, the reason they've had to leave it is just to be absolutely safe. But it's not, fully, Kavik's fault there, And he mentions that the message he kind of left behind towards the end of the first book kind of ended up saving their lives because it got everyone out of Jandari to Bin-Ur for the big kind of final sequence, of course. But they kind of more note that, yeah, but that was also kind of a part of your kind of weird kind of manipulations in a way, your lies that you almost forced Jujinta to do your bidding and, we were there as well. He does point out that I had to do it because I had to save my brother, Kalyan, and ultimately for two, apart from Jujinta, of course, the other two are Water Tribe. They get this, that he has prioritized kind of blood above kind of everything else, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but he has betrayed people in the process. Who is it here? Akudan says, I get it. The kid picked blood. I wish more people thought the way he did, which is interesting because that's the whole idea of Chief Oiluk. He picked logic over blood, effectively, in terms of dealing with the fact that his cousin Akudan was captured during the Platinum Affair. So I'm wondering, is that a really clear-cut connection there, or is this just said because of the Kavik situation? But either way, it works in that context, making that connection as well, of Akudan has been on the bad side of someone not choosing blood, basically. So he doesn't mind necessarily massively that Kavik has made this decision. This is where Jujinta is like, do you know if Chaisi ever found him out? Of course, Kavik doesn't really know the full details about it. Jujinta's then like, yeah, agreed. You probably would have known if he was found out because you'd be finding pieces of him all over the island. And they're like, please stop talking, Juji. That's a bit much. But they're like, yeah, he's probably just laying low. And Taigo mentions, like we all are because of you, effectively. So Taigum is quite cautious around Kavik here. I think you're running another con on us right now. But Kavik is like, like Akudan said, I'm here with the Avatar's blessing, why don't we all just relax until she shows up and she can explain it to you? And again, he tries to play cool and relax, but they're all laser focused on him. They don't want him pulling a trick on them. They've been got before, so they don't want to get got again. So Kavik is kind of like, oh, this is going to be tough. To do what I need to do with potentially them constantly keeping watch over me is going to be tough. And right as he's kind of thinking how he's going to kind of do his first report to the Order of the White Lotus, a thunderous crash is heard off in the distance. And everyone is like, of course, everyone reacts to it. But the 4 that were involved in the incident here react to this in like a different way, because they're like, no way, this can't be that. Like, you've got to be kidding me. But then there's another cracking boom, an explosion echoing through the mountains. Not right up close, but not far away either. And so, yeah, the 4 of them in the tea house knew more than anyone exactly what that sound was. And he's kind of like, okay, I was expecting some kind of stiff resistance to me accomplishing my goals. I wasn't expecting this. And because he still thinks like that's going to play out, but obviously the idea that there's combustion blast means that at least one of the combustion benders are free at this point and at least firing off their blast. So what does this mean? Because obviously he has now effectively discovered that the combustion benders are in this region. But as we're going to see, the next chapter, like the next couple of chapters, are going to completely evolve the story from kind of what's been sort of set up now to, okay, things are in a very different situation here. Of course, going back to the first chapter of the book, we know Chai-Si knows where Thapa is because of the letter. Now again, that connection hasn't fully been made, but the idea is we know Chai-Si is plotting something in the background, and this seems to be it, about to kind of burst into action here. So, nice scene. I like that they did the shorter chapter here to just be like a very initial interaction with them. Because of course, Kavik, even in the first book, was always in this situation where he kind of has to prove himself to people through his like actions. And so now the 4 of them are going to be forced into action in a bit of a crisis situation. This is where, in a way, Kavik thrives. So they're going to get a chance immediately to kind of work together here, and in a way immediately jump past some of this initial kind of caution surrounding him. But it's very understandable from it. Actually, I think the characterization is good, where you have Jujinta, who is very annoyed at Kavik's betrayal, Akudan, who seems to be the most calm and understanding about it, and then Taigum is somewhere kind of in the middle, kind of more making jabs about it, kind of somewhat similar to Yangchen about the whole thing ultimately. They are all annoyed, of course, because they lost their homes effectively over this, but you get the different kind of approaches of the different characters here. So that's all really good. Little nice action scene at the start, but in general, it's nice to get some more on these characters and see them properly introduced. Again, not holding this back. Kavik asked about them when he first met Yangchen. Now he's met them in very short order. So very, very solid stuff here. But yes, the action is now about to kick off here as we go into chapter 10. And yeah, the book is just going to go kind of from flying along from here, basically. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on this chapter. But that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.